Okay, so verse 6. Sanyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptuma yogataha yoga yukto manirbarma nachirena gachati. Okay, merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So this is what Lord is saying in verse 6. So Arjuna is slowly getting his answers, right? He had asked, what is the question he asked in first shloka? He said, which is better, Krishna? Devotional service or renunciation? Renunciation or karma yoga? Karma yoga here is working in devotion. So Lord Krishna is going to be very, very specific now, moving towards deeper side. So he says, which one is better, renunciation or devotional service? So Lord Krishna is saying, Mahabaho, Mahabaho, oh my dear great Arjuna, who is very brave, who is a very great warrior. So he says, Sanyasastu. Sanyasastu, merely renouncing everything. Sanyas astu, if you are renouncing, just renouncing for something, it will not serve the purpose, Arjuna. Wow, what? So he's saying, Ayogataha. Arjuna, Ayogataha means you are not engaging in devotional service. So what is the purpose, right? So if you are not engaging in devotional, what will happen instead? He says, Dukkham apnoti, Dukkham aptu mayogataha. Dukkham aptu ayogataha means, what does it mean? Dukkham aptu means you will be completely miserable. You will be inflicted in dukkham, right? So yoga yukto munir brahma. So instead, what is he saying? But a thoughtful person, yoga yukto, who is yoga yukto, who is engaged in devotional service, na achirena adhigachati. Na chirena gachati means such a person, there will be no delay. Na chirena means no delay. There will be no delay. He will attain. What will he attain? Adhigachati, supreme. He will go to Gachati, the destination. He will reach his destination. No delay at all. Nachirena, there will be no delay at all. So finally, you can see after 4-5 shlokas, where he has been saying, oh, you know, Arjuna, there is hardly much difference between the two. It's okay. You can do either this or that. Both go to the same goal, right? So now, finally, he says, forget it. There is a difference. What's the difference? Difference is by doing devotional service, person can attain the supreme. And not only attain the supreme, nachirena, there will be no delay also, Arjuna. But the other part, it is going to take a long time. Now up to you. Verse number 6 is where Lord Krishna has come to this conclusion. Till then, what was he saying? Okay, Arjuna, even if you're announcing karma sannyas, karma yoga, all lead to the same destination. You want this, you can do this. You want this, you can do this. But karma yoga, I feel, is vishishyate, because karma yoga means he is already doing social duties, plus internally he is surrendering to me. So definitely karma yoga is better. But yeah, both lead to the same goal. But when it came to verse number 6, he has made his decision. Forget about everything, Arjuna. I am telling you, there is a difference. Devotional service is better. And because nachirena, without any delay, he will reach the supreme, whereas the other goal is going to be taking a lot of time. Like, for example, same like yesterday, I'm going to try and, in and out of video calls because of the connection. So, last time, we had discussed, if you are living in a cave in Himalayas, sometimes, yogi feels, okay, I have renounced everything. I'm nicely sitting in Himalayas. I'm doing my own meditation. But when does the test of renunciation come? When he comes down, these Naga Babas and all, they come down during Kumbh Mela, every 12 years that happens, right? So they come down from the Himalayas. All the Babas, all the renunciants, they come down. That is the testing period for them. Because when they come to the city, for example, let's just say, a sadhu is practicing austerities, he is doing meditation, he is sitting over there, he has been there for 12 years. After 12 years, he is coming for that Kumbh Mela, right, from those Himalayan mountains. So let's say he has come down to maybe say Haridwar, let's say he's participating in this fair, Kumbh fair. And in this hustle and bustle, he is walking. Somebody, let's say accidentally, they put a shoe on his feet. Because sadhus, they don't walk with shoes, right? They walk barefoot. Somebody accidentally puts a the sadhu is completely infuriated. He is very angry. He is disgusted. He's screaming. you blind? Can't you see where you are going? Can't you be more careful? Do you know from where I am coming down after so many years? And then later he repents. Why he repents? Oh my God, all my austerities of 12 years have gone to dust. Everything wasted. How could I permit myself to become so angry? Because anger had overcome him. So he's lamenting that all the 12 years of tapasya gone. One day, one moment, all washed away. One moment in the city and everything is gone. That is the test. Because this world, the Kalayam Ashashvatam, is the testing place. Here is where the renunciants get tested. So Lord, that is why Lord Krishna in this verse, what is he saying? He's saying while you are performing your own duties at home or outside or in the office, in this world is where a person slowly he gets to learn how to rise above this anger, this greed, kam, krodh, moh, lobh, mad, matsarya, basically desire and all that, Instead, if we first give up everything, oh, I will leave all the duties. Krishna said karma sannyasa is also good. So I will leave everything and go to the Himalayas. It will be very difficult because we are not going through all these problems. We have to go through these problems to purify ourselves. Otherwise our mind will not be stable even in Himalayas. It will not purify. And if the mind is not pure, then there will not be a true detachment. Even sitting in Himalayas, I'll say, okay, so my son, he was supposed to go there. Did he go or not? Oh, that person was ill. I hope she's getting better. Sitting there in Himalayas, then what's the point? The true detachment will not be there. It will be still a distant dream for all of us. Because by nature, we are propelled to work. By nature, we are propelled to do action. Arjuna, in Bhagavad Gita, he was a warrior by nature, right? If he had artificially, he said, I will go and sit in the forest, he told Krishna, right? So artificially, if he renounces and retires to the forest, his nature will not agree with that. He will start doing something else over there. He will collect some few tribesmen and he will say, come on, you are not doing the right thing. This is the right way to do. This is the way you must hunt. This is the way you have to rule. And he will start ruling them in the forest. So that is why Lord knows about it. He says, no, this is not the thing you should do. Continue to do your duty, continue to fight, but you have to just make one change. You have come to this battleground. So you are supposed to save this kingdom. That's the first pretext that you have come for. Now, instead, simply dedicate your service unselfishly to God. Just say, I'm doing it for the service of God, for the Lord. First, you came with a purpose. Yes, I want to win the kingdom. I want to take revenge. But now change, bring about a change. In this way, what will happen is naturally you will be purifying your mind and you will achieve that renunciation from within. That's what Lord Krishna is trying to tell us. Like if there is a tender or unripe fruit, it is hanging in the tree. Kacha aam, we say, right? If kacha aam is there on the tree, what will happen? It is there only. You can't, you have to pluck it or you have to pull it. But the moment the fruit becomes very ripe, what happens? It falls down, right? Same fruit. It will immediately cut from the branch and fall down. Means that maturity has to come within us. When we are not mature, we still are attached to everything. The moment we become completely ripe, we become very heavy with knowledge, we will fall. We'll get the detachment away from the branch. That means the karma yogi, while doing all this, slowly, we will get maturity and we'll get wisdom, right? How just a sound sleep is only possible for those who work very, very hard throughout the day. Deep meditation also will come only for those who have purified mind through karma yoga. First we have to purify mind. Otherwise, you try, sit for meditation. Tell me how many of you can focus without getting disturbed. How many minutes, how many seconds, I must say, in fact. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we move on to section 2, 5.7 to 5.12, how to perform Nishkam Karma. So now we are getting into Nishkam Karma. So one performing Nishkam Karma Yoga identifies he will neither with the body nor activities he is performing, and detached action, he is free from the reactions because he is not attaching himself to the results. That's what we are moving. This section we are moving into that. Slowly I'll read now. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. Yes, please. Anybody would like to read, or do you want me to read? Yes, Swapnil Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Lord Krishna has given the conclusion, right? Suppose someone is asking, okay, now you have said Nishkam Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is topmost. Then tell us how to practice. You say, okay, fine, Nishkam Karma Yoga is good. So how to practice? Lord Krishna says, okay, wait a minute. I will tell you now. So he's telling now. He's answering that question. Which is better, renunciation or work in devotion? So Lord Krishna, so far from verse number 2 to 6, verse number from 1, Arjuna asked question, right? 2 to 6, we can say. He has told everything about, something about yoga, something about Sankhya, devotional service, renunciation. He has spoken about various things. Then also he said on the lines of both of them, all this Lord Krishna is going to prove. Why is he making a nice base he's making? Lord Krishna is Chatur, he's very, very smart. So he's making a base now. He's going to prove how yoga or devotional service is superior to renunciation. That's what he's going to prove as such. So we will see that, we are going to enter into a new section from 7 to 12. And this particular section, Lord Krishna is trying to prove how to do Nishkam Karma Yoga. First, number 1, we have to understand how to do. Then how to do devotional service. At the same time, he's proving that yoga is better than renunciation. This is what Lord Krishna is trying to prove in this. Because the word Atma, here, verse number 7, when we come across the word Yoga Yukta means what? Yukta means engaged. Yoga, engaged in yoga, means engaged in devotional service. So Yoga Yuktoho, one who is working in devotion or one who is doing devotional service, we can say. Now, such a person basically is who? Vishuddha Atma. Shuddhatma. He is engaged in yoga. Along with that, he is Vishuddhatma, pure. Shuddha means pure, right? Atma. So pure soul. He is Vishuddhatma, very good pure soul. Very nice pure soul. Vichit Atma. So how many we are saying? So whoever is working in devotional service, number 1, remember, he is a Vishuddhatma, means a pure soul. Number 2, Vijitatma. Jitna means win, right? And Atma. So a soul who has conquered the mind. One who has conquered the mind. And then Jitendriya. Jit means again win. Indriya means senses. So one who has won over his senses, or who is able to control his senses. So what about such a person? What about such a person? Lord Krishna is saying, Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Such a person is dear to everyone. And Bhutatma, and everyone is dear to him. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. He is liked by everyone and everyone likes him also. That kind of a person. Why? Because he is Vishuddhatma, he is Vichitatma, and he is Jitendriya. That is why. That is why they like him. And second line, they again Krishna says, Kurvan api na lipyate. Such a person, even though he's doing so many things, right? We do daily activities, so many. We are in the kitchen, we are at the workplace, we are running out inside. Today also I'm running in and out. I just came back. So it's very difficult. Such a person, even though he's doing so many activities, still he is not entangled. Na lipyate, he is not entangled. That's what Lord is trying to tell. So the word Atma, you can see Vishuddha Atma, Vijit Atma, Bhut Atma, so many Atmas, multiple times. So this here, sometimes Atma, for the soul, for the mind, right? Because Vijit Atma, Jitendriya, Vijit Atma, one who has controlled the mind. So like that, Atma has been used for different things. One for the soul, one for the mind, one for the intellect. So this verse is using so many times Atma. So Lord Krishna is telling Karma Yogi who is Yoga Yukta, he is Vishuddhatma. I think I have explained, right? Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma, Jitendriya. I don't have to explain one more time. Do we? three things. One is pure soul, one is one over the mind or control the mind, and is able to control the senses. With all this, once he gets all this, he is able to see God in everyone. Basically, Paramatma in everyone. And then naturally, the moment you see Paramatma in everyone, what happens? What do you do if you see God in everyone? We start respecting others, right? The moment we see, oh, the other person is also a Paramatma. Oh, hello, namaste, Hare Krishna. How are you? And we become very humble and polite the moment we understand that, okay, there is a pure soul there also. So the action is not motivated by, what can I get from them? Will I, इससे मुझे क्या gain मिलेगा? What can I gain from the other person? No. The moment we have got this knowledge, we are progressively, we are, moving ahead only. Because desires are eliminated. We are seeing Paramatma. So the senses, the mind, the intellect, everything is, away from these sense pleasures now. Because they are coming under control. We should Atma, Vijit Atma, Jitendriya we become. Why? Because we are Yoga Yukto, because we are getting engaged in yoga or devotional service. So devotional service is something that gives us knowledge from within, not from outside. Not it's like you're reading, oh yeah, I have read all the scriptures. There are people who have read all the scriptures. They really know everything. They know Sanskrit, they know meanings by heart, everything, all the shlokas. You have to get it from within. That's what Lord Krishna is trying to emphasize here. That's why Karma Yoga, naturally, it brings that successive, that stages of enlightenment we will get. We won't get it outright, right? So that is why Lord Krishna is very clearly saying, we'll get step by step, we'll get enlightenment. That is why it is not different from Karma Sannyas. Arjuna, try to understand. So let's move on to verse number 8 and 9. Okay. So these are two verses. And Lord Krishna is now actually going to describe that he is Jitendriya. And who is the one who has controlled the mind senses? Let's see how he says. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrunvan sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shwasan pralapan visrajan grahanan unmishan nimishan napi indriyani indriyateshu vartanta iti dharayan. Pravina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. A person in a divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Beautiful verse, this one. Now, Lord is describing about Jitendriya, who has, controlled or won over his senses. Indriya means senses. So the one who has controlled his mind, how does that person work? That's what Lord Krishna is explaining. Very systematically he is going, if you notice verse by verse, how he started off with, both are okay, both reach to the same goal. From there, slowly saying, nee, Arjun, devotional service is better. I'm telling you, definitely, it is easier. Karma sannyas, you go in the Himalayas, there's no problem. You will just sit over there. You won't be able to purify your mind. You won't be able to concentrate. You will fall down. But Karma Yogi has better chances. Step by step, you can go, he says. So now, how does that person work? He's trying to tell us. So here he's saying, Tattvavit. Who are we talking about? Tattvavit means what? One who has seen the truth, who knows the truth, who is in that divine consciousness already, like Janak Maharaj and all those people. They were in already Tattvavit. Yuktaha, they are engaged. Such people are engaged. Engaged in what? What do? They Pashyan, seeing. What is that? Next, Shrunvan. They are able to hearing. Then Pashyan, Shrunvan, Sprishan. Sprishan is feeling or touching, like sparsh. Sparsh means touch. And then Jigran, smell. Ashnan, whenever they are eating something. Gachan, whenever they are like moving around or going somewhere. Swapan, when they sleep, right? Or dreaming. Swapna dekna. Shwasan, when they are breathing. Shwas means breathing. Pralapan, when they are talking. Visrajan, when they are evacuating, you can removing whatever wastes we have. Grahanan, when they receive. Grahan karna means to receive something. And then, or accepting, right? You can say. Unmission, when they're opening or closing their eyes. So basically, whatever activities they are doing, that's what Lord Krishna, but he is going into very much detail. Every portion he is talking about. So basically, whenever they are doing all these actives, Lord Krishna is saying, Neva kinchit karomiti, Neva kinchit karomiti, yukto manyeta tattvavit. These tattvavits, whenever they are doing all these activities, he knows he is not doing anything. Na aiva. Na aiva kinchit karomiti. He knows I am not the one who is doing all this. This is happening. Why? Because he is saying, Lord Krishna is saying, Indriyani indriyartheshu vartanta iti dhareya. So he knows very well what is happening. The senses, indriya, the senses are actually getting engaged with the sense objects. He knows that. He can see that. He can hear that. He is doing all these activities. But at the same time, he knows these are my indriyas, and these indriyas are getting engaged to the sense objects. But he is away. He is trying to be away because he knows that he is not the one who is doing, right? So he is aloof. He is nowhere involved. He is not connected. Because he knows he is the spiritual one and he understands that. So that is what Lord Krishna is trying to tell in this verse. Very clearly, he's made this verse very small words he has used, right? Pashyans, Shrunvan, we are hearing, expression, touching, all that. So whenever we are accomplishing something, can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I getting connected here? Connection is fine?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Yeah. So whenever we get something, accomplish something, we get so much of pride in us. Maine kiya. I am the one. Why these people are not giving me credit? Immediately we'll say something so that the other people recognize I am the one who did it. Something great we have done. We have to make sure that people around us know that I am the one who is doing. So many times tried from today, see whatever you have done, and suppose somebody is not giving you the credit, how you will feel. You see that. You will know that. The pride of being the doer of whatever action we are doing, that's the stumbling block. That is what is not making us rise above. Every time, notice this time. If you have done some cooking and nobody is giving you credit for doing that, or there is no time and you helped somebody do that work, but you're not getting the due credit, how you feel and how you will make sure, no, actually what happened, that person was in trouble, but I was the one who did that. And now everything is fine. You'll put that small little word that, yes, I did that. So that is the stumbling block. But if there is a God conscious karma yogi who is completely knowing this, Neva kinchit karomiti, is yukto in the devotional service, so he will overcome. He will overcome this obstacle very easily, because he has got that purified intellect within himself, right? He can see, I am separate from this body. Whatever I'm seeing, I'm touching, I'm feeling, I'm evacuating, I'm listening, I'm eating, I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming. He knows at the same time that this body is doing everything, but I am not the body, right? He knows that body is made up of 5 elements. This is the material energy of the God. I am the spiritual energy of the God. So he will attribute whatever work is being done by the power of God. I'm not having any power. So he's surrendered to the will of God. Okay, good, bad, whatever. Okay, God, whatever you say, depend upon God. Does not mean we will not put our effort. That only lazy people do. So he's situated in that, mood that, okay, everything is happening because of God's will. And I'm not the doer, God is the doer. So in that divine consciousness, karma yogis, they see themselves that I am just an nimitta matram. He says in the 11th chapter, I'm just a mere instrument of God. So Lord Krishna explains, like, what is the consequence? Like, suppose Arjuna has this question, like, okay, you are describing all this Krishna, but what about the sinful reactions, Krishna? He is like, if a person is detached, okay, but what about the sinful reactions? Will he get that? Is he still liable to get the sinful reactions because he is detached? Is it possible? So Krishna is going to address that in the next verse. Let's see that. Verse number 10. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन पद्मपत्रमिवाम्भसा. Yes, Krishna Prasad Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Beautiful, right? So we are seeing this section 7 to 12. Very nice shlokas. Here Lord Krishna is talking about how, these karma yogas or yogis or whoever is working in devotion, it is so much better than renunciation or taking karma sannyas. So far Arjuna is like, okay, somebody is working in a detached way, but what about the sinful reactions, Krishna? So Lord Krishna, what is he trying to tell us here? He's saying, yeah, one, Sangam Tyaktva Karoti. Sangam Tyaktva Karoti means what? One who has performed work with detachment. Tyaktva means detachment, basically, right? So, who is working with detachment? Brahmani Adaya Karma. Brahmani Adaya Karmani is means what in this? He is surrendering all the results. Whatever karma he has done, everything he is surrendering the results. He is offering. Offering to who? We have to offer to somebody, right? To who? Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Brahmano. That is why he said Brahmanya, Thai Karma. Karma he is offering to somebody. You have to offer to someone. Either you are sense gratification, I am the doer, or you have to offer to somebody. So here, that person is offering to Brahmanya Thai. Brahman means here, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what will happen then? Lipyate nasa papena. Such a person is unaffected by the sinful reactions. Answer to Arjuna's question, right? So he is not touched. No lipyate. That papa will not be stuck to him. He will not be having that sinful reactions. Padma patra ivam bhasa. So Lord Krishna is giving an analogy over here. So what is that analogy? How will the papa not stick to us? How that sinful reaction will not be stuck to us? It is like, analogy is like Padma Patra Imam Bhasa, means like a lotus leaf is untouched by the water. You can see in the picture also how the water droplets are there. It doesn't get absorbed by the leaf. It is still like a bubble. It's sitting on it, right? It is untouched. That is how Lord Krishna is trying to tell us over here. So the word, it's a very nice way. Charan Kamal, we hear so many words with the lotus words we raise, right? When we are hearing these, this is a very respectful word when we talk about lotus. Charan Kamal means lotus-like feet of the Lord. Kamal Aksha. Aksha means eyes. Kamal Aksha, Akshena we say, right? Kamal Akshena means lotus-like eyes. Or we can say Kar Kamal. Kar Kamal means lotus-like hands. We always use lotus for all these words. So another word for lotus is pankaj, which means born from mud. So the lotus flower, where does it grow? It grows in that mud, which is found at the bottom of the lake. Yet it rises above the water. It blossoms towards the sun. You can see the lotus. And lotus flower, it is used in Sanskrit, many Sanskrit literatures. If you go, it is used as an example of something which is born amidst the dirt. It is born amidst the dirt and it rises above it. And still, it is retaining its beauty. That is why every literature will see lotus being compared to. So the lotus flower, it has large leaves. You can see that in the picture. It is floating on the top of the water, on the surface of the lake. You can see that, right? And lotus leaves in the villages also, they are used as plates. They use as plates because it is waterproof. That's why they are used in the gaon, villages. And the liquid, if you pour a liquid on that, it won't get soaked. It's lying on that leaf. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the lotus leaf. And why? Because the whole thing, the leaf does not permit itself to be wet. The water, whatever is poured, it runs on the sides, it will fall off, right? It apparently scientifically, I was trying to search for it. It says that it has small hairs on it, and that apparently does not allow it to, absorb. It makes it fall down. It due to small hair growing on its surface. That's what I read. I may be wrong also, but that's what I read about it. I was wondering why it does not stick scientifically, trying to see. So Lord Krishna has beautifully used this analogy of lotus leaf, and he's explaining that how, it does, the water does not get soaked by the leaf and it's standing on it. Similarly, the sinful reactions also will not be stuck to the person who is like that, who offers everything to the Lord and does not claim to be the doer, right? So yogis remain untouched by sin, even though they are performing all kinds of action as such, because everything, their work is in divine consciousness. So how can we be like lotus leaf? So we can see that by remaining detached from the results. So we have to follow that ABCD thing, right? Even though we will face a lot of miseries in life, there'll be ups and downs. I'm not saying that they won't be, just because we are in Krishna consciousness or just because we are doing devotional service, we are doing puja, does not mean that we will not face problems. Nobody is, even Srila Prabhupada said, even Bhagavad Gita says, we will have problems, but we will remain like a lotus leaf, undisturbed by miseries, right? It will not touch us. We will, because we understand, we have that knowledge. It's like Krishna consciousness is like antiseptic, Srila Prabhupada says. Like, we had that epidemic recently, right? All that, even now we have flu in the city. We have to take antiseptic vaccine. That's what Krishna consciousness, because we then remain unaffected. So Krishna consciousness is like an antiseptic. We need to overcome that. It will be like lipyate nasa papena. We will not be affected by the whatever is happening in the city, whatever epidemic is happening in the city. We will not be affected by it because we have taken the vaccination. Similarly, if we are into devotional service, it will help us. We will not be affected by it of this material world. So ABCD we need to do. A is what? Association of devotees. B is what? Read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and C is what? Anyone? Chanting.
Chanting.
Yes. And D is?
Devotion.
Devotional service.
Diet. Yes, you can have, and yeah, you can say devotion diet, because we need to have sattvic food. Yeah. Spiritual life, then it will drive us away from this, sinful life. And automatically, because if we are in devotional life, sinful life cannot be, it's not compatible actually. If we are in devotion, you are in devotion. Sinful life will not, because every moment our thoughts will pick us. So we will be detached from the results. So that is why the takeaway is like, one who sees everything in life as loss and loss will never have the peace. That's what we need to understand. So, Rajlakshmi Mataji, if you don't mind, please can you mute yourself? Hare Krishna Mataji.
Who are you to call me? Vaishnavi will give. How can I come to you?
Let's move on to the next one. Kaye namanasa buddhya kevalairindrayairapi yoginah karma kuruvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. Yes, please. Who wants? Triveni Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The yogis abandoning attachment act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So here Lord Krishna had said, like, Arjuna was thinking that Arjuna may have this question that Krishna, okay, I understand you are saying that if someone is detached from work, maybe he has got the understanding and that he is not the body, he is the soul and all that. So he is detached from work. Okay, fine. But Krishna, then why are we working? What is the point of working? Then no need to work. Let's not work. If we won't work, then at least, we won't have to get these sinful reactions only. We work, we get reaction. Let's not work only. Why work? So Lord is going to answer that in verse number 11 here. Kaye namanasa buddhya kevalairindrayairapi, right? So what is he trying to tell us over here? So he's from 7 to 10. Lord spoke, right? And Arjuna basically understood that, okay, person who is working in detachment, He has understood that he's not the body, he's the soul, he's part and parcel of Krishna and all that. But what is the question he's still having? Why is he working? So Lord is trying to say yogina. Yogina means whoever is a yogi. Whenever we are talking about yogina over here, it means nishkam karma yogi. Okay. So the yogi, the devotee who is in Krishna consciousness, we can say yogina karma kurvanti. Whoever with this yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva. So he is doing work, but then he is not having that attachment. No sangam, no attachment. He is doing the karma. Yogina, the one who is working in devotional service, is doing karma, work, but he does not have any attachment, right? Okay, no sangam. Sangam means he is not attached. He is detached. So now, Lord, how is he acting? How is he doing his karma? He is acting with kayena. Kayena means body. Basically, kayena means body. So he is doing with kayena, which is body. He is doing with manasa, which is mind. He is doing with buddhya, which is intellect. How is he working? He is working with his body, he is working with his mind, and he is working with his intellect as such. Okay, so he is using all this. Kevalay indriyai rapi. Means he is also working with his indriyas also. This kind of yogina, the one who is working in devotional service, the karma he is doing, he is not sangam, means he is not attached. He is tyaktva atma shuddhaye. So what happens to him if he is doing all this? Atma shuddhaye. For such, why is he working then? He's working with what? He's working with kayena, he's working with manasa also, he's working with buddhya also, he's working with indriya also. But why is he working? Answer is atma shuddhaye, for the purpose of purification of his atma. Right? So beautifully don't you think Krishna has very beautifully explained this shloka here? He says, the one who is, we are all working karma yogis. If we are working, are doing our work and we don't remain attached to it, then what will happen? What are we working with? We are using our body, we are using our mind, we are using our buddhi, we are using our indriyas or senses. Why? What's the purpose of using all this? Krishna is telling very clearly. Atma Shuddhi. Simply purification of the soul. So yogis who understand the pursuing material desires, pursuit of happiness, it's waste. We are just chasing something like a mirage in a desert. We can see that, oh, I can see some water, but we go near, it's nothing. That is what is happening over here. So once we realize that, what will happen? The result is we will renounce. Renounce what? The selfish desires. We stop thinking about sense gratification. Mujhe chahiye, I want this, I want that. We'll stop and we'll start doing actions for the pleasure of God. That's what we'll start doing it. And then we will understand that God alone is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. We'll know He is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is everybody's friend. Jnatva Mam Shantim Richat. The moment we get that, understand that, we'll get that peace away from these material pangs, material miseries. Once we understand that He is the one who is the supreme enjoyer. But in this verse, what Lord is trying to, He is bringing a small twist. What twist? Samarpan, dedication, is bringing that twist. Did you see that? That you have, even though they are doing with all this body, mind, everything, but he is doing without any attachment. He is doing only for God. Very clearly he has told over here. So he says these enlightened yogis, they are doing work, but for the purpose of purification, not for their own selves. Then how then do the work get dedicated to God? Do you think God needs anything from us? He doesn't have anything. He has, he is everything, right? He's all opulences, all 6 opulences he has. Does he need anything? No. He has got everything. He's Atmaram. He's perfect, complete. Purna Madav, Purna Midam, Purnat, Purna Mudichet. He is Purna in himself. So what can we give? What can we offer actually that he does not have? But it is, we should give up, we should offer to God. It is customary to say, like, Twadiyam vastu govinda tubhyameva samarpitam. Oh God, I'm offering your item back to you. Tubhyameva samarpitam. Whatever is yours, I'm offering it to you. Nothing is mine. Whatever is yours, I'm giving it to you. But there is one activity that is in our hands. One activity. And that is not in God's hand. What's that? Anybody? Anybody who can tell me what is in our hands and not in God's hand? Yeah, purification of our own heart, mind, intellect, that is in our hands. We can do that. When we purify our heart, when we engage in devotional service, it pleases the God more than anything else. More than anything, when we purify our own mind, that's what Lord likes it. So, mehnat kar raha hai bachcha. Like for example, if our child is sitting and studying very sincerely day and night, mother feels so pleased. Parents are looking at it. Hi, he's working so hard. Do you want to drink some milk? Do you want some juice? Do you want to eat something? And the child is working so sincerely. We feel so good. Same way, Krishna feels so good when we, with pure heart and sincerity, we are doing out of no selfish reason. That's when God becomes very happy with us. So yogis understand that that's the biggest thing that we can give to God. And what is that? Purity of our own hearts. You do whatever you like. From today, if we become very pure, with pure-hearted self, we talk to each other without any selfish desire. You see how transformation takes place in us. So yogis understand that that's the biggest thing that they can do. Purity of heart. In Ramayana, there's a very sweet thing about this principle. Lord Ram, he found Sugriv. Sugriv was very scared, kind of, before the battle with Ravana, that when he went. So what did Ram tell him? He was consoling him in a way. He was telling, if I'm the Supreme Lord, I'm merely with the bent of my little finger, small finger of my left hand. The left hand, you can imagine, little finger. What to speak of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, who were like Jay and Vijay? All the demons in the world will die. So Sugriv said, if that is the case, Lord Ram, then in order to kill Ravan, what is the need? Why are you collecting this much big army of monkeys and people and all that? Why are you collecting this monkey army? So Lord then at that moment, at that time, he said, this is all to give you all the opportunity to do the seva. I am giving you an opportunity to do devotional service so that for your own purification from this life, whatever you are in, you can get out of it. Do not assume that I need actually your help to annihilate any of the demons. Lord does not need anybody to remove these demons. Jay and Vijay, who were in the Dwarpal in Vaikuntha Lok, right? They became Ravana and Kumbhakarna. So Lord actually, he can send any agent also, even with a, like he said, with a little finger, I can finish it off. So the only permanent asset that we have is the purity. Purity is something in our hands, and it goes with us into the next life also. Subtle body goes, right? So while all these material things that we are collecting over here, it will remain here, including the body. But only the subtle mind, the purity of mind, that is what is going to carry us forward. So the success, the failure about this life, how can we determine it from today? What is your success and failure is? How much purity of heart did we, what percentage did we achieve? That's how we should try and measure every day now. So keeping this in mind, these yogis, these elevated yogis, these exalted yogis, even if the problem comes, they're facing a lot of problems. Even in Himalayas, you think it's so easy to live in Himalayas? No. They go through all the adverse circumstances. Even karma yogis over here, the elevated yogis, they go through all kinds of circumstances because they think that these are the circumstances that will help them to purify their heart. That is why they go with, happily they will go through the pain. Okay, God, you have given me this opportunity. Let me go, wash it away, wash it away, wash it away, and purify it. Cheto darpana marjanam, keep cleaning it, right? Again, Kabir Das, he will always say in his dua, he had said, what did he say? Nindak niere rakhiye angan puti chavaye. What was that? Bin pani sabun bina nirmal kare subhai. So swabhav means the nature. Bin pani sabun bina nirmal kare subhai. So beautiful did he say, right? So if you want to cleanse yourself or clean yourself or clean your heart quickly, what do? Cultivate the company of a critic, someone who can criticize you all the time. So nindak means somebody who's criticizing all the time. So if you want to cleanse your heart, you want to purify your intellect, just get somebody, be in a company of a person who criticizes me. This is not the way to do. What are you doing? This is not somebody who's criticizing you. And when you're able to tolerate that, those words that the person is saying, your heart will be cleansed. You don't need a water or a soap, he said. Bin pani, bin sabun. Your heart will be clean. You don't need anything. So when purification of heart, the motive is good, then God will send you different opportunities to progress further so that you will remain equipoised, whether it is success or failure or whatever. And as we are working for the pleasure of God, what will happen? Slowly, heart will get purified. Heart will get purified. We will offer the results of all our actions to the God. The moment we offer it to God, how did Lord say over here? Yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma atma shuddhaye will happen. Hare Krishna. I think I can stop over here, or I will take one more shloka maybe. Okay, I'll just take one more shloka before I leave. Verse 12. Yuktah karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim ayuktah kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Hare Krishna. Who will read this? Triveni Mataji, would you like to read again?
Yes, Mataji. Hare
Please,
Krishna.
Please.
The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. So now Lord is going forward. He's describing about the difference between a person who is attached and a person who is detached. What is the difference between them? That's basically what Lord is trying to tell in verse number 12, right? Because previous shloka, Arjun was like, okay, you are talking about detached soul, right? But when the person knows he is not the body, he is the spirit soul. But then what is the use of work? Why anyone has to do any action? Then Krishna told, right, that, sorry about that. Then Krishna, what did he say? He said that what is the purpose is only one. He said you have to get that Atma Shuddha, right? That is purification of heart. After that discussion was done on detached action, now there is another question. What is the difference between attached and detached? So Lord Krishna is telling over here. What is he saying? Yukta means a person who is steadily engaged in what? Devotional service. Means he is detached. How detached? Karma phalam tyaktva means because he has given up all the results. Karma phalam. Phala means result. He is tyaktva, sacrificed, given up. So once he has given up, he has offered all the results to Krishna. What happens to such a person? Shanti apnoti naishtikim. So what does it mean? Such a person, he will attain unflinching faith, unadulterated faith. Shantim apnoti naishtikim. So he will get that kind of faith. Shantim. What about the other one? Yukta. We understood, right? As whoever is engaged in devotional service means what? Nishkam karma here. Ayukta. A person who is not engaged into doing anything. He is ayukta. A person who is not engaged into doing this means one who is not in union with the divine. He is not trying to give the results to Krishna, let's say that way. Easy to understand. Kama karena. Very, very greedy. Kama. Kama means greedy. So he is always greedy. Greedy about what? Phale. Result. What? Credit. So fruits of action. Phalam or result you can say. So phale sakto nibadhyate. Such a greedy person. Kama person or greedy person. What will happen to him? Nibadhyate. He will become always baddha. Means entangled all the time. So the one who is yukta means the one who is engaged, constant engaged in devotional service or Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is in that service, in devotional service. Such a person attains what? Shantim apnoti naishtakim. He attains shanti, eternal shanti, peace. But the other one, Ayukta one, he is always having that kama karena phale. Desire about what? Phala, or the result. Sakto nibadhyate. He will always be entangled. Beautiful, beautiful way of explanation by the Lord. Yes. So whoever is yukta about a karma, who is towards devotional service towards the Lord, he will have shanti. And ayukta one, who is not trying to be in a union with God, he is instead having that kama karena phale, he is having kama or the desire to have the result, he is entangled. So we understood, right? Some people are bound by material this thing. But how to get out of this material bondage? Lord Krishna has given very clear answer over here. So those who are unattached, unmotivated towards these material rewards, they will never be bound by karma. But those who are craving, I want credit, I want to be recognized, everything should be me and around me. It should be centered around me. He will remain entangled. If everything is centered around Krishna, he will always be free and always be peaceful, and he will enjoy. Yukta here means engaged in union with consciousness, in union with Krishna, in union with God, right? So that is what yukta here means. Ayukta means not united with God consciousness. That's what Lord Krishna has tried to tell over. So let's understand the flow chart very quickly. So here we have understood here. So attachment to activities and results, right? Only attached to the results of his activity. He is functioning in duality, always having anxiousness. There is always badhyate, always. Nibadhyate means entangled. Who is attached in serving Krishna? He is doing only for Krishna. His activities are only for Krishna. He is no duality. There is no duality. I am doing for Krishna, good, bad, whatever. It's all Krishna's. No anxiety. Whatever the result, good result, fine. Not good result, okay. That's what you want, Krishna, fine then. And he is completely in a liberated state. So secret of Krishna consciousness, realization that there is no existence besides Krishna, is that he is on the platform of peace and fearlessness. What is the cause of anxiety? When one is in the duality, oh my God, today I'm happy, tomorrow I'm not happy, and he does not have that knowledge that everything is God's. What are you doing? So we need to be completely in Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kanshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param in 18th chapter. So here it is, one who is completely in transcendental state, in that supreme Brahman state. He is always joyful. He is not na shochati na kanshati. Prasannatma. That Atma is always prasanna because it is already situated in Brahma Bhuta. That is that on that level of transcendence, right? Samas sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim param. So he's not desiring, not lamenting, doesn't want anything, equipoised towards everyone. He sees Paramatma in everyone. He attains pure devotional service. So that is what is about verse number 12. Steadily devoted soul offers results to me. 5.8. Whoever is greedy, he always remains nibadhyate or in entangled. So we move on to section 3, which I will take up next week. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhishya kripa sindhubhyo vicha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Vaishnav ki